Thanks to the announcement of Resident Evil Requiem, it was shown us the appearance of Leon DILF, which it didn't drive everyone crazy. What makes sense? A guy has aged like a Bond. But with that, I'm sure they rename Brave those same questions that have been spoken to everyone since Resident Evil 2. Would it be possible to date Leon? And is he good at bagging? Rest assured, because today it was unfair to answer in a way that was not once and for all these doubts. As always, basing myself on science and facts so that you know exactly what Leon is capable of doing it. This time, we are going to follow the video of a slightly different shape. As Leon, technically, has no powers, we will focus much more on the events of his life so we know if they have experience in tango, if we would have the opportunity to do this to him, and if he could have a relationship with him. Well, Leon's story already begins with a traumatic childhood. His family had ties to crime, which resulted in a tragic end for them. Leon almost going from F2, but being saved by a police officer, which would inspire him to also become one in the future. And it comes, years later, after graduating from police academy at the age of 21, Leon decided to go to the Requiem Police Department city, due to its great curiosity as a bizarre purposeful death that happened in the mountains of city. It was a last-minute decision, so I didn't have an exact plan, not even an apartment in Requiem City. In the rush, he even ended up with his girlfriend. Here, we already have an important piece of information, that Leon had a relationship, which indicates that he should have experience in tango by now. Back from that time, the problem is that we don't know when the relationship started, so you can't to know if he was available among his 18 for 21 years, for you to try something with him. Anyway, here we come to the main events of Ren's Denifin 2. He arrives in the city, realizes that it's full, and tries to escape from there with life. The important prototypical of the video is that during these events, Leon ends up meeting Ida Wong, a spy sent by a rival corporation to Umbrella, who went there to steal the virus. She tricks Leon, saying she was looking your girlfriend who's gone, but in time, the relationship between the two is changing. Even though Leon knew she lied to at a certain moment, Leon sees himself creating feelings for each other. On Leon's part, this is much more obvious, since after Ida kissed him, he basically does everything he can to help her. Ida ends up being a little more subtle, but proof that she really created at least some kind of feeling for the Leon. It's just that although she's a spy, a people who should be cold-blooded, she don't send Leon to get it. The sample of the D virus. She hesitates and decides not to eliminate him, which indicates that it was even more complicated to have something with Leon. He's in love with someone else. In addition, he was very traumatized and shaken with all the things that happened in Recon City, which led to problems with alcohol, and is not an actor. It was his first day as a police officer, and soon on that first day, he was thrown in the middle of this hell. In a document, Leon admits that he thought several times and just ended all. Lying in his own head was all he had wanted, but he resisted it thanks to Sherry, a little girl only 10 years old than he, found in Recon City. He couldn't give up and leave that child alone from that hell, so he resisted and fought with to protect it. As you can see, it would be very difficult to have something with Leon at that moment. He's traumatized and he has feelings for someone else. But anyway, continuing here, after the city was destroyed by the nuclear bomb, the still wounded Leon was taken into custody of the government. He knew too much about Umbrella and about the government's own involvement. What made the government think will end with him? But at the same time the skills of his survival were recognized. So, in the end, he ended up receiving the ultimatum in exchange for Sherry's safety and life. The little girl, he'd have to keep quiet and become an agent in the anti-military agency, Umbrella. Well, after that, Leon went through intense military training for about 6 years. In my time, he even went to some important missions, but in general, he was very busy and it would be difficult to get in touch with he in these conditions. But we have a silver lining to it. Leon became even more athletic. He was obviously already in good shape, already that he had just graduated from police academy not long ago, but now it's on another level, which would be very useful during payments. Since physical exercise helps in several areas, and one of them is Ano Tango. It improves your blood circulation, your ability to of Doom Erection and Mantella is improved. His stamina, it increases, allowing you to last longer. You get glutes and other muscles more strong, what helps you do in more positions and with more strength. It also reduces stress and boosts your self-esteem and trust, something that in Leon's case, he has. As hell, in Resident Evil 4, he does a flip when he sees a chain. You have to trust yourself a lot to do that. Finally, physical exercise also improves your flexibility and increases your testosterone levels, which increases your libido as a result. That is, Leon has the knife and the cheese in hand to make a tango. Very good. Guys, I think it's relevant to comment here for the public. Physical exercise, as well as improving things obvious, like longevity, quality of life, and all. Moreover, it also improves blood circulation in that region, leaving it more sensitive and lubricated, which improves the experience of bagging. Continuing, finally in 2004, Ashley Graham, the president's daughter, was kidnapped, which made us leads to Resident Evil 4, where Leon, who is now a special agent, has been put in charge to investigate and recover the girl. In this game, we see a very strong Leon, more confident than even distressing sometimes with to Ashley from time to time, but also we ended up having a reunion between him and Ida, who helps and heals him after he has been infected with the parasite of the plague. It's kind of obvious that he likes her, but it is what he only finds when are on a mission, so it's hard for them to have something. From here, several other things happened. He saved the president's daughter and continues being one of the main anti-bioterrorism agents. So, if I were to talk here about all the missions he participated in, the video would be huge. So, let's go back to the topic here of the video. Let's recap things. I don't think it would be possible to have one relationship with Leon, unless you were a people who work alongside him, which in itself is almost impossible. But why do I say that? Well, after the events of Resident Evil 2, Leon was very traumatized and busy. Dude basically ain't got a second of peace, always being sent on highly dangerous missions, and they take large periods of time to complete. It is simply not a priority nor an interest for he, which is clear several times, has already that he could have had a relationship easily. After all, the guy is handsome, so having a relationship with him wouldn't be possible, but that doesn't mean that the draining would be impossible. On the contrary, despite the traumas he takes out on him. In drinking sometimes, it acts in a way that confident and flirts several times with different characters. And let's face it, even if it's not a priority, it doesn't take that much time to drain away. He is interested in it and would do it. About the Aida, even though he has feelings for she, they both know they can't have something seriously, so it's kind of open there, but it wouldn't interfere in a casual relationship that you could to him. So, if you don't deal with being something casual, which would hardly happen more than once, because he is consciously having to travel through, because of the missions, it would be possible to make the tango with Leon. And by the way, it must be very good at that and endure a lot. Now, in the case of a relationship, it's other 500 is not in his interest. The one person who is most likely he ends up making an exception, that's Aida, the NGO, and let's face it, there is not much way to compete with her, so it's better to give up on this case. At least, he's good at tango, so I recommend it if you want something casual. Anyway, unfortunately, we have a period of 11 years of Leon's life that stayed kind of blank between his last mission and the Resident Evil Requiem. So, maybe something has happened that changes this. Conclusion, but for now, without the release of the game, you can't know. If more things come up, maybe I'll do one part 2, but well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you the next lesson.